Oh lord, ladies and gentlemen, do I have a loaded video for y'all today. Usually we only cover one person on the channel at a time, but right now we just got off of the craziest week I've ever seen on my time here on YouTube, and I really want to go back and go day by day and talk to y'all about every crazy situation that happened. From knocks at the door from the cops, fire alarms being pulled, a fat dude wishing that my kids come out disabled, a certain Sonichu defending predators, a certain predator going after me and Kiwi tapes, to making threats at former presidents, which happened more than one occasion and by more than one person. And then we loop all the way back to the cops knocking at the door again. And so a wild week calls for an even more wild video, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you enjoy it. So with all that being said, let's start where it all began. Sunday, December 10th, 2023. King Cobra was live with over 4,000 people watching him, in what could only be described as one of the biggest disaster streams I've ever seen.
Seriously, fucking spilling it a second time. Like I try to fucking pull my drink up and then blah, now I'm spilling all over the place. I'm sick of it. All that alcohol I fucking wasted on that spill. I am so fucking over the holidays. Like I'm all sitting here getting drunk for Ozzy Osbourne on the weekend, and it's like, nope, you don't get to have that. You don't get to have that. And I'm like, yeah, watch me, motherfucker.
After being drunk and raging most of the day, like he was on a pretty heavy bender, and after a while Cobra decided to take a little nap. Now this was unbeknownst to a lot of people on the stream, because many people thought that Cobra may have just keeled over and died right here. You couldn't hear much breathing, you didn't see any movement, and I believe this is what led to some people calling a wellness check to Cobra's house. And well, it could be that, or it could be the fact that later on in the stream, Cobra tripped and took a pretty nasty fall, but here we are with Cobra asleep on his couch, and next thing you know, you start hearing a knocking at the door. And ladies and gentlemen, this knocking did not stop for what seemed like hours. I think myself and everybody in the chat was just waiting on the edge of our seat to know who is on the other side of that door. And so, despite this man being completely passed out drunk in the chair, the chat numbers kept going up and up and up, because everyone heard that King Cobra was passed out, and there was most likely cops on the other side of his door. But there were other theories getting thrown around as well. Was this Clint, his father? Was this a DoorDash person? Was it possibly a neighbor? Who knows? But we sat and wait, and eventually, ladies and gentlemen, after hours of knocking, we finally got our answer.
No, I did not. I haven't ordered anything all day except Troll Superhero.
You don't want any drinks? They said you were bleeding.
No, I'm not bleeding.
You're okay? You don't want any medical or anything like that?
No, I don't.
Oh, careful. Yep.
No, I've been drinking alcohol all day.
Yep. You're good. I don't see any blood. You're good. Your viewers are just worried about you. They said you fell down.
Oh my god, dude.
So yeah, it was the police, as to be expected. I think most people thought that, but with the amount of DoorDash Cobra gets, I mean, it's not even his own DoorDash, this is the ones the trolls send him. You even heard the cop there asking if he had ordered a pizza. It's funny that at the end of all this, that's what Cobra seems to be the most mad about more than anything, and that's what I'm about to show you right now. Because after his quick conversation with the police, Cobra saunters on back into his apartment and gives one of the greatest rages you've ever seen in your life.
Like, oh hey, Cobra hasn't answered all fucking day. So what do? Don't fucking attack me like I'm the fucking piece of shit! Because it's like, oh well, we would never do anything like that, blah blah blah. And I'm like, the companies who are doing this crap and making me my food would never do this crap. I get that. But the fucking asshole YouTube trolls don't give a shit. Like, what am I supposed to fucking do? When I'm like, I tell YouTube, I don't need any food. I don't need any food. Fuck my YouTube trolls. They will sit there and fucking order a bunch of bullshit just to fuck with me. And then the second I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna stoop to their level. Somehow I'm the piece of shit. I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. Fuck that shit. Y'all fucking sit there. I'm like, dude, my fucking YouTube trolls are like, hey, we're gonna fucking have the police over as much as we can. And I'm over here like, leave me the fuck alone! Like, if I need the cops for a fucking emergency, I'll call them! You know? I'm sick of it! It's like, if I need the cops for a fucking emergency, I'll call them! I'm tired of it! As I sit here and I try to do my own fucking thing and just mind my own business, and that's not good enough!
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, whoa, no sir!
Oh my god, how could you not talk about the Olive Garden experience that Daniel Larson had last week? Now, with a situation like this, I'm gonna give you a summary of it, but I've already done about like a 20-30 minute video on this, so it'll be linked in the description below. Daniel rolled up to this Olive Garden because he was under the belief that Grace Vanderwall, you know, the famous girl that he's in love with that has no idea that he exists, well, she does now because Daniel like creeps on every page of hers and comments stuff, but Daniel thinks that they're actually in a relationship because he's being inundated by trolls who are posing as this girl. Think the old Chris Chan stuff, you know? And so Daniel goes to this restaurant because he thinks he's going to have a meeting with her and her whole family because he's also a musician and a celebrity himself, and he's going to get signed to like some record label or some shit, you know? Well, as you can imagine, all this stuff is not actually going down, but as time goes by, it seems like that's not the only reason Daniel is in this Olive Garden. He's also been informed by the trolls that the manager of this Olive Garden has been distributing his nudes on Reddit and in Discord servers. So like already, you know where this story's about to go if Daniel's really believing that type of stuff. You know how crazy he is. You probably know how crazy he's got to be to believe that, so he's gonna do something crazy in retaliation, and that's what you're about to see on screen right now.
I'm performing a citizen's arrest, so the FBI is outside. I have more than enough photos coming in. Okay.
Who are you arresting?
I'm arresting every single person here. I'm arresting all employees.
So Daniel tries to put every single employee inside of this particular Olive Garden under citizen's arrest due to the nude leakage that's going on. And of course, the manager steps in, starts talking to Daniel while all the other employees go about their business because they know this is just some crazy guy they're dealing with. Daniel gets in a fight with this lady, eventually says that he's in talks with Olive Garden corporate and she's gonna lose her job. She calls the cops, they take forever to get there, and in the time that it takes them to get there, Daniel goes over, grabs the fire alarm as you saw in that beginning clip, pulls it, and just continues to stand there acting like when the cops come in, these people are fucked. And eventually, a firefighter does walk in, but Daniel just dismisses him as, I'm waiting for a cop, buddy. I know I pulled the fire alarm, but I have no interest in seeing you right now, so get the cops on here. At the end of the situation, Daniel just walked free. Now you might be wondering, after doing all this, harassing these people, pulling the fire alarm, which I'm pretty sure is a felony. In the initial video I posted, I thought it was a misdemeanor, but a lot of you guys are telling me differing things about it. But Daniel doesn't go to jail. And you might be wondering, well, how is that too shocking? And sometimes they let these guys off with this stuff. Daniel's crazy, you know. Well, he's already on probation. It's like one more mess up and he goes into jail, but it's just not happening. He continued to do this, though, and this is a continuance of his even crazier freakout a few weeks ago at Panera Bread. Daniel Larson is someone who is just, he's going off the rails this entire year, and it's probably not going to get any better for the guy because he will do anything that the trolls tell him to do as long as they say that there's someone he trusts, like Grace Vanderwall of all people, and he's never going to learn. He still goes ahead and just does it. And these trolls are a huge part of the problem as well. If they'd stop, a lot of this stuff with Daniel probably would too. But it's a vicious circle that'll keep on going, probably till the end of time, or until both Daniel and the trolls are like friggin' long gone. The following day, a tweet was sent out by Chris Chan responding to somebody who said that predators should not be allowed back into the brony community. Now, in any community, this should be something that we all universally agree upon. Once someone's caught doing like some type of creepy shit like that to another person, yeah, no types of love for them back in the community. But Chris, y'all know Chris being one of these predators, considering what he was accused of doing with Barb, he does not like that stance. Chris thinks that everyone should have an open mind to letting these type of people back in. And already just hearing that, I can tell, if you don't know about this story already, a lot of red flags go off. Anyone who's willing to welcome predators back to wherever they're at with open arms, yeah, it's probably not the best thing to happen. But Chris has his own reasons for why that is. So let's read them out. The misunderstandings linger from those who misconceive of others' intentions or lack thereof in pure accident or happenstance. Do not be close-minded to apologies, and when one has authentically done nothing wrong or is not guilty of anything, especially after being proven this in court of law, they are to be welcomed back into society, period, without any further bias based on the past. Now, let me tell you something. Chris's first part of that tweet, the misunderstandings linger from those who misconceive and all that stuff, that's what he really wants to say. Chris wants to act like it's an accident. It was just a thing of happenstance. You didn't get his intentions, because in his jail letters before, he's made it known that his intention was to heal Barbara's soul by doing what he did to her. Really creepy shit, but only stuff that he himself could convince himself that would be plausible to say. At the end there, he just breaks into like, well, listen, I wasn't found guilty in court, which, again, they didn't find him innocent either. They simply dropped the charges. They had Chris in there for 2 years, though. You know, you don't just stay in jail for 2 years for something you don't do. And yes, there have been plenty of people falsely imprisoned over the course of time, but not all those people have a phone call going into graphic detail about the crime they're accused of committing. Yeah, come on now, ladies and gentlemen. Think with your brains here, your third eye, or whatever the fuck Chris usually says. Now, of course, you can also say that Chris, he can't really believe anything this guy says. Chris has said so many tall tales over the years. Are you really going to take his own words as proof? And, you know, that's a very good point, too. At the same time, though, it's very odd to me how Chris in the beginning said that he did this and did nothing wrong, and as time has gone on, Chris has he's found a new excuse every week. In this one, he said it was an accident, you know, and he was proven guilty. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but just the other night, Chris did a live stream in which he said that, yeah, a version of Chris did that, but not this universe's Chris, ladies and gentlemen. So now he's trying to do the, like, alternate dimension excuse, saying that there was some Chris in, like, universe C82, whatever, and he's the one who boinked Barb, but me, I'm a clean Chris. So it's gonna keep on going down the hill with Chris saying more and more crazy shit until he probably eventually just throws his pen and paper when he's doing an art stream and says, all right, I diddled Barbara, but she enjoyed it, you bastards. On Tuesday, Everyone's favorite TheWhiteBowser popped his head up again by sending an email to a dude who had asked him a bunch of questions. Bowser answered these questions as smugly as you'd imagine he would, because even though he left the internet months ago, he's not afraid to stick his head back up there, give some insults and threats to the trolls, and then hide right back down wherever he's hiding right now. A few months ago, there had been rumors that Bowser had gotten fired from his job at Kroger, the job that he went back to after he had tried working with disabled kids, and people had gotten in touch with anyone in his area that may apply to, and Bowser didn't get that job either, which I thought was very, very heroic work on the part of the people. If a dude like Bowser, who has no issue grooming kids in a Discord server, or has issues groping them in real life, is saying that he wants to get a job with kids simply to spite the trolls, yeah, nah, that's something that needs to be stopped. But Bowser's letting people know that he's found a new job now, and he's even getting paid more. So please cope and seethe, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we're coping and we're seething over here. Even most likely that Earl's lying, we're seething hard, ladies and gentlemen. You send any mail to my neighbors and my harassment complaint will be dialed up to 11, with my neighbors being able to report you trolls for harassment as well. Bowser seems to get this type of stuff a lot, and I've said before, I ask people all the time, please do never harass anybody in these situations, not even Earl himself. Let the police handle it, and even if they say they're not, well then just see what happens, because he always ends up falling into his own traps anyway. Bowser is someone who will make an ass out of himself without anyone going after him, and now that he's admitted all that he needed to admit for people to know that he's an absolute, really piece of shit person, the karma comes for you. Bowser brags about a certain subreddit about him being taken down, and then even attributes the police being the ones who took it down. And so as someone who doesn't use Reddit, I had to get in touch with people and ask, hey, why did that server get taken down or whatever? And I found out that it, in fact, did not get taken down, and that Earl is simply lying here. Bowser says, you aren't just battling me alone anymore. You are battling people who have real power in this world. You are picking a fight with the bull. The police are very much done fucking around. You do anything to antagonize the situation further, those search warrants will go out to YouTube for Smokey and Kiwi. Oh shit! This is what I mean with Bowser blaming everything that happens to him on me and Kiwi now. This guy who has nothing to do with us gets in touch with him, and he's like, hey, you keep antagonizing me, I'm gonna get search warrants put out there for Smokey and Kiwi. He goes down a little bit there, saying that it doesn't matter if we live in the UK or if we have a P.O. box, we are fucked. Bowser's with the FBI, ladies and gentlemen. They're gonna come to my island, they're gonna swoop me up, me and my 6 kids, Miss Smokey. They're gonna just, our little cabana on the beach is going to be ransacked. In the next one, it's the craziest out of all of them, because Bowser says that he is prepping to meet with the FBI at his house, since you don't know, so many reports were done about him. Shelby Township police have already told him that he will not be arrested and the interview will be quite chill. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is probably not true, but let's say it is, right? Let's say the FBI have told Earl, we want a meeting with you at your house. There can never be any good coming of the FBI asking you to have a meeting inside your own house. But Earl thinks they're going to be there. They're going to have a secret little meeting. Maybe they can use the boxes in his basement to build a fort together, and they can all huddle up and talk about how they're going to take down these YouTube trolls. God damn, me and Kiwi are going to pay, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be a glorious day for one Earl Doobie. In the final part of this email, he tries as hard as he can to sound like a badass villain, kind of like Cyrax style, WWE promo style, you know what I'm saying? But here we go. Just in case you think you are winning, you really aren't. Just in case you think you are a more powerful force than my local police, you really aren't. Just in case you try to do anything, it will only make my power to take you down more palpable and concussive. I can usually do a better Bowser than that, but I smoked a lot last night and my voice is just not gonna have it. But yeah, Earl Doobie, the TheWhiteBowser, he's staying off the internet. He's having a completely internet-free life, but that doesn't mean that he's not going to email people, and it also probably doesn't mean that he has a bunch of different profiles that he's lurking on here and there. Like I said, really wouldn't be shocked about any of this going on, but soon enough you'll find out that Bowser isn't the only predator who left the internet. Matter of fact, there was one who did it just this week, but you'll have to wait till Saturday to hear about that one. However, now we jump to Wednesday. Now, Wednesday was one of the 2 slower days of the week. There really wasn't much going on here. The only thing I remember from that day is myself and Kiwi Tapes doing an episode of Too High for Stupid. However, earlier in the day, I gotta bring up something a little personal to me here. There's a YouTuber out there by the name of Papa Gut. And this guy did a reaction video to the Daniel Larson video I had done last week. You know, the one of him at Olive Garden that we were talking about earlier. And this dude hated my video so much because of how many bad takes I had on Daniel Larson's mental health, simply not giving him benefit of the doubt for all these situations. And he loves Daniel so much to try to shield this little predator from all his controversy. You know what he said about your boy Smokey? Well, it really wasn't so much about what he said about me, it was what he said about my unborn children.
It's fucking crazy that there's like an entire network of absolute fucking losers on the internet that make pages out of like shit takes on fucking mental health like this. Like, isn't it crazy that all these fucking lolcows are like, what if this was your kid? What if you have a kid and like something come out with autism or schizophrenia? Like you're gonna laugh at the, I genuinely hope that your kid comes out with like a TBI or autism or schizophrenia or something that you have to deal with so you can finally understand the negative impact that you have on this shit.
Wow, that is one hell of a way to defend a pedophile. Imagine hating somebody so badly because they said that they don't care about a predator's mental health. I think everybody has family members that have mental health issues and all that, and guess what? If any of them were caught doing the stuff with kids that Daniel was, well, I would take them to the police station myself, and that's a God's honest fact. But the thing that disgusts me the most is that he simply says that Daniel has mental issues and we all have bad takes for calling him out for the predator stuff. You're just watering down the issues the people with real mental illnesses face. Yes, Daniel is clearly mentally ill, but that doesn't mean that every mentally ill person is going to act the way Daniel acts. But I just gotta be honest, it's so weird to me that this guy sits here and defends Daniel Larson, someone who's a known predator, and then when he goes at somebody, he doesn't even go at me, he goes after my unborn children. I don't know. Waves a couple red flags if you ask me. So on Thursday, Chris Chan came back for his first live stream in a few weeks. He was supposed to do them weekly, but a lot of people assume because an apparent doxing happened a few weeks back that Chris was laying low for a while. But he did eventually come back, and he did this Q&A stream where it looked like his brain literally broke on numerous occasions. He's never been so overwhelmed in his life, and it was simply because of the flooding of donations that was rolling in. But this stream had another reason it was pretty important. It was because it was the first time that anyone's heard Chris mention Cyrax, and it was all because someone donated asking about him. This whole stream is one that I covered in a video last week, and that as well will be down in the description below, but I took all the clips and I thought were the best moments of this, compiled it all together here, and let's see Chris's return disaster stream.
He fallen, then was resurrected by the universe core and matrix. I wipe, to answer that question, wipe and wash with soap and water. Okay? I am following. It never happened, so there. Verse. I know who that is. I'm not gonna collaborate with that guy. Period. I'm not gonna. I know the joke. 2007, 2008. I didn't even answer the question. Was it just say best? I can't say off the top of my head. Maybe I'll get back to that question about 2008 memory. Can we please move forward? First, 1739 AD year. Nope. Not that. Just saying nope to that. Period. Well, she made... She made and gave life to a yellow and blue Autobot, and upon completion, she had vision of Sonichu Prime from Earth's future. Centuries ago. Millennia ago. Please, I'm no bigger than... No, I'm not the biggest. I'm not Lolcow, and I do not fight that. I do not appreciate being called Lolcow. Alright? Can't live with her, because she would. No, I'm not. Speak for yourself.
It's just so funny to hear another Lolcow, especially one on the level of Chris Chan, basically just shutting down any idea of ever working together with Cyrax. Now, this is something that Cyrax has clearly wanted for a long time. Ever since Chris Chan was in jail, Cyrax had been making videos saying that, you know, all the trolls had messed with Chris like they messed with him, and when Chris gets out of jail, man, get in contact with me, maybe we can take these guys down. Well, Chris wants nothing to do with the little goblin, and how can you blame the guy? But this was really all there was on this day of the week, and when you jump to Friday, things got even slower. And so despite it being a pretty slow day, it still had moments in it that were harbingers for things to come over the weekend ahead of it. And firstly, we go to a guy named Nick Nobody, a fellow creator here on YouTube who will be linked in the description below. He was having an Uno game in his Discord server, and one of the members really got upset when they lost this game. They freaked out, they eventually got banned from the server, said a whole bunch of messed up shit, and this led to people looking into them, and that will be talked about in just a short little bit of time here. But also OnlyUseMeBlade. Old Brian Rizzo started a stream that would eventually culminate Sunday night, but it was a night of 3 different benders. One this night, one the following night that really isn't worth mentioning, and the one on Monday that'll really blow your mind. So other than that, Friday was probably the slowest day of the week in total, but now we jump to Saturday. And Saturday was really the most hectic day of the week, considering all that went down. I woke up to a bunch of messages from people saying that another guy named NateDawG had been exposed for having minors in his Discord server. It was a furry Discord server where they would roleplay and stuff like this. Kind of sounds a bit reminiscent of Bowser's old server, without all the furry stuff, you know? Replace the anime stuff in Bowser's with furry stuff in this guy Nate's, and you basically had the same exact thing. Now, this dude Nate, you might be wondering, why is this so important? Well, because just last week, or I should say a few weeks ago, this guy dropped a TheWhiteBowser documentary. So this dude knew everything about the story of Earl, well enough to make an entire documentary on the man, and still followed in his same exact footsteps. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about using your mother as a defense mechanism, running away from YouTube and blowing up your entire account once getting caught. I could go down the list. He is following Bowser's story to a T, and this all happened in less than 24 hours. And of course, the NateDawG guy said that there was nothing going on in that server that was wrong, despite having tons of minors in there, knowingly having them in there, and showing NSFW material. People went through the logs and found that he was literally DMing minors to come into the account. He would DM them, tell them, hey, here's an invitation, and look, this person here on screen was only 15 years old. And then when these people would be in the server, Nate would post things telling them to not make their ages known. He did not want any talk of ages, just so that people, quote-unquote, wouldn't get attacked. But in reality, it was only so that he could cover up his own tracks. This was really a disgusting thing to find out, but honestly, shout out to people like Nick Nobody and Cow Wrangler for really exposing this guy. It's so creepy knowing that he was making videos on Cyrax and Earl, and the videos themselves were actually quite popular, but this dude knew all the things these guys did, and probably just was so aware of it so that he could try to figure out what not to do because he wanted to do the same shit they did. The dude's out of YouTube right now. He deleted his channel, and let's all hope he doesn't come back, ladies and gentlemen, because people like this have no place on the internet and no place nowhere. And while this was the most disgusting thing I saw all week, it wasn't the craziest, because what I'm about to show you now is what I think really encapsulates this video to be called the craziest week ever. Because last week I did a video on a guy named N3on, and shortly after getting done that video, something that I desperately wish I could have put in that video occurred. So take a look at this.
I'm gonna walk up, I'm gonna talk my shit to Trump, and then it's gonna be a very good experience. And I'm gonna talk my shit. I don't care if the Secret Service is there. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna talk shit. So
there's a popular streamer online called N3on, and he said he was banned from the arena tonight, specifically by.
He said he was banned from the arena? No, what happened is he said some stupid shit on Instagram, And, you know, he bought tickets so he wasn't anywhere close. When you start saying stupid shit like that, yeah, you're probably going to get busted up and thrown out of here, you know, making threats and talking dumb shit, looking for clout.
I believe he said he was going to...
I don't care what he said.
I think he said he was going to confront Donald Trump. I
don't care what he said. Did he?
Well, he wasn't able to.
He's this fucking tall, too. You know that? Fucking punk.
So, I mean, like, where do you even start with that one? N3on's out front of the UFC arena, wherever they were running the UFC pay-per-view that night, I believe in Vegas, and N3on starts making some threats at former President Trump, saying that he's going to walk up to him, he's going to say what he wants to say. Like, he's just, you know, things you probably shouldn't be saying about a former president of the United States. And obviously the UFC caught wind of this and they decided to ban N3on. Now here's the deal. N3on was still in the arena that night. He got in. As a matter of fact, at one point, Trump walked up and shook Sneako's hand, who was sitting next to N3on, but N3on had got up so he could go buy his fake girlfriend a ticket to the show. What a wise move from N3on. He really would have been able to talk his shit in that situation. But I just thought this was so crazy, considering we were just talking about N3on last week, and now here's Dana White of all people at the post-fight press conference, and he's talking about how much of a punk N3on is. I mean, come on, that's exactly what I was talking about. I would probably like hearing it more if it didn't come from someone who beats his wife, but, you know, you take what you can get, I guess, ladies and gentlemen. Nonetheless, it's surreal. It's absolutely surreal seeing N3on warring with, like, Dana White, trying to war with Trump. He's just trying to do stuff to get his name out there, and sadly, when it's stuff like this, it absolutely works. And so after this, I thought, well, the week's over. There's no way anything crazy happens tomorrow as well. But then tomorrow came around, and then Sunday, oh Sunday, we fall right back to where we started in the first place. So Sunday rolls around and OnlyUseMeBlade goes live for the third night of his bender. And he's sitting there, he's screaming the N-word. I mean, he had to say it at least 1,000 times within like an hour period. He sits there, he gets drunk, he gets on the phone with people, just calls everyone else poor, calls everyone else the N-word. Classic Blade shenanigans. Getting as drunk as he can, trying to make any types of money that he can, and being a complete and utter dickhead in the process. So eventually, Blade's stream ends as it always does, with him passing out drunk and leaving the camera on, and the chat numbers going from like the high thousands all the way down to like 4 people. Blade's never been someone who knows how to like give the audience what they want, because as soon as things start getting good and people start filing in, he ends the stream because he's too much of a bitch. But Blade passes out, and eventually the knocks start a coming again.
Brian, it's the Bellevue Police Department. Wake up, brother. You gotta grab your stuff and go, alright? What's that? Hey, Brian. What's that? You wanna sit up and talk to me, man? Do I need to have an ambulance come check you out?
So whatever hotel Blade was staying at got the police there to kick Blade out, which honestly probably wasn't even that bright of a move, because Blade's so piss drunk, there's probably going to be so much work to get him out of there anyway, and in the end they did let him sleep it off and kicked him out in the morning, but not before Blade could sit there, just mumble to himself to the cops, and if you listen closely enough, he even mumbles the N-word to them a few times, but they can't understand it, but if you listen to Blade long enough, you could probably understand it. Eventually people start sending in donos saying that Blade has weapons and all this stuff, but since Blade has it set up on whatever streaming service he uses, all it does is change the word weapon or like the word gun to flower or puppy. So I mean, people were just trying to get Blade, like let's be honest here, they were trying to get Blade in a real bad situation, but it didn't happen, and we were really excited to see where this would go. However, it was all taken from us in this moment right here. After a particularly outrageous dono, the cop picks up the camera, gives the people a big smile, ends the stream, and with that, ends the entire week, but what a crazy week it was. Being there for all of that really had me just running around trying to make sure I had clips for all this stuff, but I'm glad that I saved them all for a video like this. I hope you guys enjoyed this weekly recap, and maybe we'll do more videos like this in the future. I did a monthly recap a little while back, and I think a lot of people liked that one too, so I'll gauge by the comments seeing if you guys want to see more content like this. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Christmas season. You know, Christmas is only a few days away. By the time this is uploaded, it may even be tomorrow. So I just want to tell all of y'all, to you and yours, Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a great one this year. And, you know, just always tell y'all, I always tell y'all this. This holiday season, just be happy you aren't Brian Rizzo. Be happy you're not Chris Chan. Be happy you're not King Cobra, Daniel Larson, TheWhiteBowser, N3on. Like, be happy you're not none of these people. Definitely be happy you're not NateDawG, too. But just be happy you're with your loved ones, you're with the ones that care about you most, and have a good one, my friends. And until the next one, I'm out of here. And until then, stay safe, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.